This is KGW News at 11.
Get under the table. Get under the table. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That was a bad
Oh,
one. This is so bad.
Oh, the front door came open.
That's okay. It's okay. Just hold on.
Southern California still getting rattled by aftershocks after the biggest earthquake to hit that region in 20 years. It happened last night, and all day we've been seeing video after video like this showing the shaking and the damage. That magnitude 7.1 quake hit near Ridgecrest, which is about 150 miles north of Los Angeles. And for people there, it was the second one in 24 hours. Another slightly less powerful earthquake hit on Thursday, of course, the 4th of July. Crews since these quakes have been battling fires that exploded in buildings and homes. They're scrambling to repair leaking water and gas lines. All of this amid thousands of smaller earthquakes and aftershocks. Officials say the damage could have been worse if it hit a more populated area. The good news, no deaths or major injuries have been reported. And we want to bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri now. And Joe, a lot of people have been asking, is all of this seismic activity in California enough to trigger quakes up here?
And Maggie, how can you not wonder about this, especially as how active it has been in just the last 48 hours? And to answer your question, no, we're not going to be impacted by those aftershocks and earthquakes here in the Pacific Northwest. The places that will continue to see those aftershocks will be throughout the eastern side of California. Some of these aftershocks and earthquakes have been felt as far as Las Vegas, Sacramento, and Los Angeles. You see this red dot? Well, this is where the epicenter took place, basically near Ridgecrest, and that's where this is the latest earthquake and aftershock has been taking place in the last hour. You can see that red dot is what we've seen in the last hour. And take a look at some of these. The green dots you see, last 24 hours. Aftershocks range in a magnitude from a 3.1 to about a 3.4. And the yellow you see flashing is what we've seen here in the last 12 hours. And that is going to continue to climb over the next several days. Now, we spoke with Ashley Strigg, a geologist at Portland State University. She says this doesn't have a large hazard impact on the Pacific Northwest because of where these earthquakes are taking place. Strigg adds these earthquakes are happening in the Eastern California shear zone.
We are going to continue to see a lot of aftershocks occurring down in the Ridgecrest area. They're experiencing about one aftershock a minute right now. And some of them have been quite large. I just got a text.
Did you hear that? About a aftershock about every minute. Just incredible to hear those kinds of numbers. Now, she told us that aftershocks will continue over the next few weeks to the next months, even over the next year or so. Now, when she was talking with her crew earlier today, she was getting a text message from geologists who were down in Southern California who told her that the ground was still shaking. Now, she says that the Ridgecrest area is most affected, and she is advising people not to travel to that area right now. Maggie, back to you.
Yeah, Joe, good advice and good info. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, though, one local family is already there because, as luck would have it, they're on vacation at Disneyland. And this seismographic right here gives you an even better idea of just how jarring this must have been for them. Check out how the waves just completely spike when that 7.1 magnitude quake hit again last night. And while experts, once again, we want to stress this, say this won't trigger anything here at home, it is a good reminder of how important it is to be prepared. We continue our team coverage with KGW's Brittany Falkers.
A second California earthquake in just 2 days is dominating the headlines. But for Jessica Gonzalez and her family, this is more than a news story.
But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a little scary.
What was supposed to be a fun trip to Disneyland for this Tillamook family of 7 has turned into a headache and a frightening situation.
My one daughter's like, I just want to go home. Can we just go home? And we're not leaving till Tuesday, which is sort of sad because I don't want them, this is our big vacation and now it's, they have these thoughts like they just want to go home instead of enjoying everything down here.
They felt Thursday's quake in their hotel, but were stuck in traffic for Friday's. She says at first she thought it was her kids roughhousing in the back seat.
And then the car was, bouncing and, rocking. And then we realized, and I looked at the other cars and they were all doing the same and realized it was another.
These earthquakes serve as a reminder of what we face here in the Pacific Northwest.
It's just being prepared because we never know when an earthquake is going to happen. That's a no warning emergency.
The time to get your family prepared is now, and a great resource to help get you started is the American Red Cross. They have guidebooks like this with step-by-step instructions to help you create a plan, and that includes an emergency kit.
Start by having enough food and water for everyone in your family for at least 3 days. We recommend getting to that 2 weeks ready place, but 3 days is a good place to start.
Jessica says she and her husband have talked about an emergency earthquake plan before, but after being caught in the shakes of both California quakes, she'll take even more steps to protect her family when she gets home.
It's definitely very real, and yeah, I will definitely be getting one together when we get back home.
That is, after the rides open back up at Disney.
We're sort of, crossing our fingers. We're going to Disneyland tomorrow.
Brittany Folkers, KGW News.
Yeah, you just heard for him. That timing is terrible. And by the way, if putting together an emergency kit for every single member of your family seems a bit overwhelming, the Red Cross suggests doing it incrementally. In other words, they say pick up a few items every time you go to the store. And here's some of their advice. First, they say make sure you have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day and enough food per person per day to last 2 weeks. Second, pack a first aid kit and include in that prescription medications. Third, include copies of important documents you'll need if you can't return home. For more earthquake preparedness tips and for updates on the situation in California, as always, head to kgw.com. Changing gears and heading to Seaside now, police say 2 men were stabbed there, and in fact, they found one of them wounded on the beach. Officers spotted him a little bit after midnight near Avenue K and the Promenade. They say his injuries are serious. Then, a short time later, police say a second man with a knife wound showed up at the hospital in Seaside. Police don't think this was random, and they also say the public is not in danger. All right, an update now on that woman who was forced to jump from the 3rd story of a burning apartment building. She's still in the hospital, but doctors have upgraded her condition to fair. Stephanie Williams suffered a cracked vertebra and a collapsed lung when she jumped from the fourplex at Northeast Garfield and Failing yesterday morning. Crews are still trying to figure out how that fire started. All right, everybody, let's lighten things up here. In less than 12 hours, the U.S. women's national team will take on the Netherlands in the final of the Women's World Cup. It is huge here in Portland because, number one, we love soccer. And number two, 4 members of the Portland Thorns are on the national team, and fans are already thinking about how this game is going to play out. KGW's Art Edwards was out there today talking to those fans, especially the youngest ones. And Art, they can't wait for this matchup.
No, they really can't. They are very excited about it. It is, of course, a big deal here, and even bigger because of the Thorns who are going to be part of it all. The game starts early here on the West Coast, but that's not going to stop people from watching. They play tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock to win it all. Are you going to get up and watch that game?
Of course I am. Yeah.
I'm probably going to be waking up to it tomorrow, mainly because my mom is too, and she'll probably take us out somewhere to eat to watch it. So, yeah, that'll be a good idea. But, yeah, no, I definitely probably will be up watching, rooting for the U.S. Hopefully they win.
There's no question these young players will be up to watch the final match. As they work out under the watchful eyes of their coach
there you go, get over the player.
And parents, they have their own national team dreams, and they like what they see of the U.S. women's national team this year.
The intensity and what the players they change when they play with the national team than when they play club.
Anna Gorlock plays for Lincoln High School and is committed to the University of San Francisco for college. Her favorite on the team is Lindsey Horan, but the entire squad has special meaning to her.
The USA team, that's kind of those are my role models. Those are who I've looked after for soccer-wise. So for me to go and see them make it to the finals is pretty crazy for me. So yeah, I'm really happy and excited to see them play.
So that match starts at 8 o'clock our time in the morning. The U.S. will be going for its 4th World Cup title and 2nd in a row. Maggie?
Yeah, I'm so psyched to watch that game. Go Team USA. Art, thank you so much.